What's up, guys? Now, you guys have been asking me to do this since season 6 of Game of Thrones ended, and I figured now is as good of a time as ever. So, one of the main questions that I get all the time is what will happen when Dany gets to Westeros? And I think in order to answer this question, we have to first determine what happens before she gets there. Let's start with Jon and Sansa in the north. Now, Jon Snow knows about the White Walkers, so he's probably going to want to do something about it. So, the rational thing to do, from Jon's perspective at least, would be to beseech Cersei and ask for help. Jon's never met Cersei. He's seen her once, like in season 1 when they all came to Winterfell. I'm sure he's heard about how much of a grade A you-know-what she is, but he can't know for certain. And for the sake of everyone, it's his obligation as king in the north to at least try. Now, Sansa will obviously discourage this because she, unlike Jon, knows Cersei well. And also, we must not forget that Sansa is also a fugitive. She'll probably be largely discouraging. Now, when it comes to Cersei's reaction to all of this, she still has no reason to consider the White Walkers to be anything more than a myth. And she doesn't listen. She doesn't listen to anyone, not even when it comes to Daenerys and her dragons, which they discovered in season 4 were actually a legit threat. Remember, she just goes, oh, well, they're just baby dragons. Yeah, baby dragons that took Astapor, Yunkai, and Meereen within a few months. So here's how I would imagine that going. Jon sends a letter, a raven, to Cersei. There's no way he's going to King's Landing unless he has a death wish, which, judging by season 6, that might actually not be too far off. But no, Jon Snow will probably just send a raven. Cersei will read it and then have a laugh and probably rip it up like she usually does. Now, at this point, Cersei has to know that Sansa is with Jon. So Cersei still wants Sansa dead. Why would she play these games with these rebels that, in her eyes, murdered her son? So Jon will try Cersei and will fail. Cersei will probably still be trying to scheme and figure out how to kill Sansa or something, but it's probably not going to go anywhere. At some point, Cersei will realize that Daenerys is coming, and let's get one thing straight. King's Landing at this point, I don't think could withstand another siege, especially with the fleet that Dany has amassed. But then comes Cersei's savior, the Crow's Eye. He's probably pissy about the fact that Asha and Theon stole his ships and teamed up with Daenerys. So since his plan to give Daenerys the D has been foiled, he would likely move on to the next blonde-haired beauty, who is Cersei. Remember the 1,000 ships that he said he was going to build last season? Well, there's Cersei's fleet. And at this point, she really has no choice but to accept his marriage proposal. But knowing Cersei, she may just kill Euron and take his ships. And knowing the Crow's Eye as well, he might just kill Cersei and take the Iron Throne for himself, which I actually think is more likely. As you know, if you've read the books, part of Cersei's prophecy that was cut from the show is that the Valonqar will strangle the life from her, and Valonqar means little brother in Valyrian. The Crow's Eye is Balon Greyjoy's little brother. After all, if Cersei kills Euron, she'd never be able to control the Ironborn, so I totally see Cersei dying at the hands of Euron Greyjoy. Okay, so the big epic battle between the Iron Throne and Dany. Dany wins. LOL, end of story. Well, not exactly the end of story. I mean, she's got dragons, she's got the wealth of House Tyrell, she's got the Dornish behind her, she's got it in the bag. Unless they throw us for a loop and Euron pulls out the dragon binder, Daenerys has this, with casualties, of course. Missandei and Grey Worm are probably finished this season. Dany will probably leave Tyrion in charge of King's Landing, assuming it's not completely destroyed by wildfire, because I'm so certain that Cersei is going to use wildfire again. That's just her thing at this point. Dany will travel to the north to fight the real problem with Jon, and from that point on, I think the series will take a more fantastical turn, because we got magic versus magic. We've got dragons versus ice, a song of ice and fire and whatnot. I know it's a little predictable, a little cliche for Jon and Dany to just team up like that, but it totally seems like where they're going with this. But I don't see either Danny or John dying before season 8. I just don't. It would be absolutely ridiculous for the showrunners to bring Jon Snow back last season just to kill him off this season. And it would be even more ridiculous, in my opinion, for the showrunners to have built Dany up as this mythic, incredible savior figure only to have her killed when she reaches Westeros. That makes no literary sense. That makes no narrative sense at all. But what are you gonna bet they're gonna make it seem like Dany is dead at some point, and then they're gonna throw us for a loop and she's gonna pop back up like, gotcha, I gotcha, I wasn't dead the whole time. So I feel like Dany, Jon will team up to fight the White Walkers, but we won't actually see that until next season. As for Littlefinger, because I know people are going to ask about Littlefinger, I think Littlefinger will probably die this season. With only 12 or 13 episodes left, I have no idea what role he could possibly play in any of this. Like, it seems like that part of the show is done. Like, the political intrigue, they cut it short. They're just like, whatever, we're moving the plot along. I don't see where Littlefinger could come into play. I don't think he has anything to do with the White Walkers like some people think. I just think that he's kind of, at this point, a bit of a throwaway character at this point. I honestly think so. I mean, he might be there to stir up a bit of drama and conflict with some filler scenes with Jon and Sansa, but for the most part, I think that this is it for Littlefinger as well. If he doesn't die, then he's probably just going to be off screen somewhere. So those are really my major predictions for season 7. If you have any questions that you would like to ask me, anything that you want me to talk about in season 7, just feel free to leave a comment. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more ideas, advice, and fire. Make sure you check out my theories. I just did one on YT that I thought was pretty good, and I also did a reading on the Forsaken chapter from the Winds of Winter, so go check that out too, guys. Peace out.